Peace and blessings, family. It is yours truly, Mari. I am the founder of El Kebalan Union Alliance. My queen, Amani Amari, is the co-founder. We focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. And the music you hear in the background is my good brother, Harvey Garvey. It's peace and power. To my cousin, Shanda Bray in the building. Thank you for tuning in, cousin. Knowledge. Intro music is Harvey Garvey. Check him out. I'll make sure that I provide the link in the header of this video so you can check him out. He has some powerful, conscious content. You want to make sure you share this with the youth and empower their mind. And after this short little 2 seconds into the song, we're going to dive right into the message. What you don't know will hurt you. Harvey Garvey. Harvey Garvey, Harvey Garvey. Covered by the fists. Yes, indeed. So we're going to talk about this today. We're going to talk about what you don't know will hurt you. It's the reason why I had the book up in this video, because it's knowledge. It's the right information. All right. It's knowledge of the right information. And the implementation of that information will bring about transformation in our life. So what I like to do is, I don't like to only talk about the problem. I like to bring solutions to the community for the problems that we have, our social ills that have been plaguing us for centuries. Okay. And that's the reason why we wasn't allowed to read. Okay. A lot of people today, they have the opportunity today to read, but the reason why is because they're programmed not to seek after information. Okay. And what we don't know, information, the accurate information, not just information, because remember, we have miseducation. As Carter G. Woodson has said, the miseducation of what? The Negro. So that means that there's information that can misinform you and mislead you, which means that you'll end up on the wrong path. And also there's information that shapes your mindset. So your thought process, the brain, takes in data, which is information, and processes it, and it shapes your thinking about not only yourself, but about life in general, right? So we want to talk about, getting into a mindset that's positive, okay? Because the reason why a lot of us are crippled, all right, in the natural is because we are crippled mentally, okay? The lack of accurate information has handicapped us and put us in the posture of being dependent instead of being independent. So let's get to the root of the why. Why don't we feel like that we can do it? Okay. It's because a lot of us don't know about those who have invented certain things. Okay. Because it has been what? Hidden from us. Okay. So why is that hidden from you? Because if you know your accomplishments, then you will know how intelligent you really are. And if you know how intelligent you really are, when somebody tells you that you are dumb or that you're stupid, okay, you won't believe it because you know how intelligent you actually are. So now you have information that is hidden from us. I call it past interference. Okay, past interference. And that information is, okay, the lack of knowledge of self. What is our self? Our true self is actually our inner self, which is our spirit. But we're going to do a combo here, and we're going to talk about our spiritual self and our natural self. Okay, it's a knockout combo. This is the reason why we are down to our knees and we get knocked out. Okay, we're down for the count. Okay, because we don't know. Okay, and that's what's hurting a lot of us, is the fact that we don't really know the root cause. I have heard people say this standing in the street with riotousness going on. And I've heard adults say this time and time again. They'll say, what is going on? So if somebody is asking what is going on, that means that they don't know what's happening. They don't have any idea about what's happening. Okay, in other words, why are we, let's interpret what our mothers, unfortunately, that have lost their child or has lost their children or our loved ones. And some of us, I'm quite sure that's listening can relate to that feeling of losing a loved one to violence, right? I believe some of us, we can relate to that, okay? And the mother is wondering what is going on. Why is our neighborhood so bad? You know, why can't we be safe walking down the streets? Okay, you know, and it's the lack of knowledge. The lack of the knowledge of the spiritual realm and how it actually works. That's a part of the problem. Okay, that's not the only problem. That's not our problem in its totality. Okay, but that is one of the main problems. Okay, is a lack of knowledge of self. And some people don't understand why it's so important to get in touch with self. Okay, and again, I'm talking about the spiritual aspect of self right now. You know, being a person that's attached to the right principles. Okay, getting the right teaching. Okay, we must be restored back to our traditional greatness mentally. And in order for us to be in an upright position, we got to have the right information. Okay, we have to have the right information. Okay, there's multiple reasons why. Okay, and I'm not going to belay the time with that. You know, I'll do another part to this video as well. Okay, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to dive in on just a few of these things, and so we can have a better understanding. So I'm going to encapsulate this right now. Okay, so now, all right, why is it that a lot of us, we don't engage in lucrative businesses? It's for the lack of information. And the reason why I say this is because our mindsets are not shaped to be entrepreneurs. I believe this is a very befitting time for us to be able to have this type of teaching right about now. Okay? Nobody told me, and I want people to understand this because I want people to understand, listen, nobody told Amar to be an entrepreneur. Nobody told me to consider being an entrepreneur. I'm not beating up my family. I'm just making a point. Okay, because today I'm a serial entrepreneur. My queen and I, we own multiple businesses, one of which we're in the real estate industry, which is $1 billion industry. Okay, but see, that was presented to me. So now I'm in the know because that was presented to me. Okay, so now I can apply information that has been presented to me, and it changed my position financially because I have accurate information to teach me how to build wealth. So it's the lack of knowledge. Okay, in some cases, because let's just be honest about it, some people know, but they ignore it. So also another part of the verse is, our people perish for the lack of knowledge because they reject the knowledge. They throw the knowledge away. They ignore videos like this because, you know, they think it's boring. It's not entertaining foolishness. So they don't want to listen to it. Right. So see, that's another reason why we perish, is not only because we don't know, because some people are aware of it. They just don't give it their attention. So that's another reason why, because we don't take out the time to do this. Is read accurate information that's going to empower us and that's going to change our position as it relates to financial empowerment. Now, you may say, Brother Amar, we got plenty of multimillionaires out there today. We got a lot of young men, that's playing sports and, they're in, basketball and football and, baseball, etc. You understand? But see, the reason why the money doesn't flow back in the community is because they're not being taught. They're not being taught. And see, for those of you who are spiritual, those of you who are religious, you need to hear this too. Okay? Because that's another problem. Some of us, we so heavily bound, we don't know how to function on this earth. And that's why a lot of us are generationally broke. Okay? Because the only thing we thinking about is heaven. But last time I checked, the good book says man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word. So natural and spirit, balance. Okay. So we got to get educated. We got to have the right information. First of all, if you go out there and you start a business without being taught, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. You know why? Because you may be ambitious, okay, but you don't have the knowledge. So you can be a motivated entrepreneur, and this is the reason why a lot of businesses shut down so quick in their first couple years, because of lack of what? Knowledge, information, accurate information to teach them how to be a successful entrepreneur. So we don't just need, I hear a lot of us say start business, but see, I like to go deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It does not matter if you start a business and you don't know how to run a business. And this is the reason why a lot of our businesses fail, because we have ambition, we have confidence, but we lack the knowledge, the accurate information. And this is the reason why the businesses close. Because we don't have the information. Okay? And so, I call it past interference. We have been cut off from the information, okay, that's going to bring about family orientation. Okay? So why is family so important? We must understand that the reason why we don't come together is because we are not mentally programmed to understand that it takes a village not only to raise a child, but it takes a village to run a nation. I will never stop at just raising a child. It takes a village to run a nation. Okay? So we have to circulate. First of all, let me say this. Let me get the record straight here. Before we were enslaved, we practiced cooperative economics. During the time that we were released, okay, from slavery, and I know some people want to talk about, well, allegedly. I understand what you're saying. Okay, but for the sake of argument, after we was released and we started our businesses, Tulsa, Oklahoma is a perfect example of this. Rosewood is a perfect example of this. Okay, because there was more than one Black Wall Street. Okay, so New York, okay, and Florida as well. Okay, and Chicago. All right, so there was multiple, okay, quote unquote Black Wall Streets, right? So obviously we did this. See, we have to understand what we have to do is go back to doing that. We've done that before. It's nothing new. Cooperative economics, we did that before we was brought over here on the ship. Huh? You understand? We did that when segregation existed. Okay? Right? But see, what happened to us, and I got to tell the truth, I got to say it the way it is, because your spirituality doesn't stop you from being dark-skinned, being indigenous. It doesn't stop you from being that. Okay? You being a Christian, you being a Muslim, you being a person who practices African spirituality, it doesn't eliminate you from the fact that you are from an indigenous people. Period. You must understand that. So what I'm saying is you need this information, okay, because it don't matter how spiritual you are, don't matter how religious you are, I still know spiritual and religious broke folk. I'm going to say it again. I still know religious and spiritual and activist broke folk. You know why? Because we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the wisdom, we don't have the understanding, we don't understand business, we don't have the information. And one day we're going to wake up and figure this out. That our ancestors did do this before. Our ancestors did own businesses. We have to get back to ownership. But you know what the problem is? When we got the permission for us to integrate, and I'm not saying integration is the problem, because guess what? You can still integrate and be about your people. How do we know this? We go to the Chinese store and we spend money with them and they still be about their people. We go to the Europeans' business and we spend money with them. And guess what? They still about their people. We could go to the so-called Arab business and we can exchange dollars for currency for goods. And guess what? They're still about their people. So don't tell me that you can't do business and still be about your people. Case closed. Bottom line on that piece right there. Right? So, with that being said, we will not stop winning until we unify. Let me tell you the reason why we lose. It's because we don't do that. We don't unify. Listen, this is not just a Bible verse. I don't believe in something being a religious text, far as when it comes to a wise statement. The universe commands blessing where there is unity. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. That is a universal principle. It is not a Christian principle. It's not a Christian principle. It is a wise principle that it doesn't even go limited to a family. That's even a business principle. Without unity, you cannot prosper. That is a fact. Show me one basketball team that you've seen make it to a championship without playing together as a team. Show me one. I'll be waiting. I'll wait. Give me a NFL team, an NBA team, a hockey team that ever won any type of championship on their own. Just individuals, just the individual. Nobody else participated on the soccer team or anything else. Show me. Right? So the reason why they won the championship is because they played together as a team, right? So the reason why a lot of us we're losing is because we're playing tennis instead of playing basketball. We're playing an individual sport. We're allowing our religion to come between us. We're allowing our activist views to come between us. We're allowing our political views to come between us. Okay? The last time I checked, we are family. That's the last time Amar checked. And the problem is, we don't have that mindset. And the problem is, let me just keep it real with you. We sometimes put the religion and we sometimes put the spirituality and we sometimes put the politics before our own selves. And if we're not careful, Okay, we're going to continue to lose if we don't capture this. The problem is, family, is that we don't know. That's what the problem is. We say we know, but we really don't know. We say we know, but we really don't know. You know how I know we don't know? Because of the way we treat each other, what we're going through. And this is the only thing that's going to help us is to start teaching. Teaching means to make aware. The knowledge of and awareness of. Not that some of us are, but it's not enough of us. That's why we got to keep teaching like this. Because enough of us, we don't get it. Oh, we come together during the pandemic. We're going to come together during the pandemic. But once the pandemic is over, what's going to happen then? Just like 9/11. What's going to happen then? Are we going to drift right back off into our slumber again? Are we going to go back over into our individual corners again? Or are we going to come together and help one another to succeed? And this is the reason why this program exists. It's to help to empower you spiritually and naturally. Okay? Not to just give you some cultural information, but no spiritual information. Give you spiritual information, but no cultural information. Give you all of the above, and then don't give you any financial literacy. Okay, we need to combine these things together. We need to mix these things together, and then we can have a whole community. We need solid morals. We need cultural pride. And we need financial literacy. And you mix all those together and we win. It's a very simple problem to a complicated situation that we have going on. The reason why we perish because we don't know what our problem is. We don't understand what is the problem. And that's the problem. The problem is we don't have a family mindset. And not only that, the problem is the lack of financial literacy. And not only that, the problem is the lack of morals. And when we gain all of the above and we combine them together, we're explosive and we're powerful. So that's why we're hurting. We're hurting because we don't love each other. We're hurting because we're ignorant to financial empowerment. We don't know how to invest. You understand? And if we did, then why so many of our young men that go to the NFL, that goes to the NBA, why majority of them end up being broke? So guess what? Money isn't the problem. Do you understand? If you got knowledge and wisdom and understanding of financial strategies, it will attract wealth to you. And not only will it attract wealth to you, guess what? You'll be able to not only know how to accumulate it, but you'll know how to sustain it. And not only be able to know how to sustain it, but you'll know how to distribute it. That's right. You know how to distribute it. You know how to invest. So see, guess what? If you give a fool some money, a fool will soon part with their money. You know why? Because they're not wise enough. Now, let me tell you something. Let me show you what this pandemic has showed a lot of us. This is a wake-up call, family. This is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call to the lack of financial literacy. It is a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call about how many of us have to file for unemployment. It is a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call about how many of us don't have ownership. It is a wake-up call. A lot of us have been too complacent. A lot of us have been playing. And guess what? Now we're being played. I'm going to say it again. And this is just all in love. I'm not trying to beat nobody up. This is me included. I'm telling you. Okay? A lot of us have been playing, and that's the reason why we're getting played. You know the reason why? Because life, the rule book of life, you got to learn it. You got to learn the game of life. You have to learn the rule book of life in order for you to win the game. But if you don't know the rules, you're going to strike out every time. Okay? And the reason why a lot of us, we strike out, let me tell you why. It's because a lot of us don't have a mind to go get a degree, to learn the trade, to bring the trade back, and to start our own. A lot of us, we want to stick with companies. We get comfortable. We want to stay because of the benefits. But a lot of us, we don't want to put in the work to have our own. So this is the reason why we don't have our own, because we don't put in the work, enough of us, to be able to have our own. The only thing we think about is going to get a job with good benefits and retire. We don't think about the manufacturing company that we work for. We don't think about actually owning the manufacturing company. We just think about staying there instead of us learning the trade, learning the ins and outs about their business, getting our credit right, getting business loans, getting business credit, starting our own, and then we can leave our children generational wealth. Because your children cannot inherit a job. They can't inherit a job. You own somebody else's job. They can't inherit that. You see? And the reason why we keep falling in this vicious cycle is because we're too comfortable. We don't want to put in the work that it takes as entrepreneurs. We don't want to deal with the ups and the downs of entrepreneurship. We like being comfortable of going to work, knowing that you're going to get a paycheck. See, a lot of us are too afraid to step outside of our comfort zone. And listen, complacency kills. And this is the reason why a lot of us are in the situation that we're in. It's because we're too dependent. We look for people to save us, and we look for people to pay us. I'm going to say it again. We look for people to save us, and we look for people to pay us instead of us paying ourselves and instead of us writing the checks. So why are we here today? Why are we in this situation today? It's all of the above that I foresaid. And for those who didn't catch what I said, if you would be so kind to go back and watch the replay. Okay? So I'm getting ready to close here. I just wanted us to have an understanding about the reason why we are in this position that we are in. You know, it's because we got to grow up in our thinking. We have to grow here. And we have to wake up and we have to recognize what our problem is. And then once we find out what the problem is, okay, we implement the solution that we recognize is the solver of the problem, and then problem solved. It is just that simple. It really is. It's just that simple for my life. I'm not living in the ghetto no more. I'm not on welfare no more. So it is just that simple. You gain the right information. You learn. I said to myself, there's no way I'm going to be 60 something years old standing at a Walmart door, and it's only because I have no choice to work. I think that's very embarrassing to have to ask for somebody to start a GoFundMe to help you to be able to bury your relative. See, we don't have our priorities straight. We don't have our priorities straight. I'm tired of seeing our people lose. It's time for us to start winning. And you got to take out the time to educate yourself. You got to take your time to pick up a book and read and to learn, how can I get out of this financial dilemma? See, the reason why people don't seek after it, you know why? Because they have no desire to. You know why? Because we've been programmed to just accept handouts. Instead of us being the one giving out the handouts, we're the ones that's always on the receiving end. This is the reason why we let China come over into Africa, because we don't have a clue about the power that we have. We have more power than what we think. We really are not powerless. The truth of the matter is, it's the way we think that gives us less power. We all have power, but the wrong mindset is what makes us powerless, which means it gives us less power. Money doesn't give you power. I beg to differ when it comes. Money doesn't give you power. What good is money if you don't know how to invest it? If you don't know what to do with it? So does money really give you power? We talk about spending power when we should be talking about investing power. Riddle me this. Let me ask y'all something. Where has spending power gotten us? Huh? I have to ask this question, and I'm very serious about this right now, because riddle me this. Where has spending power gotten us as a people? How much do we own? Where are we spending? What about owning power? What about investing power? Sometimes I hear people say this like it's something so great. No, we got to start investing. We spend a whole lot, but we have nothing to show for it. What do we have to show for the spending? Nothing. You know the reason why? Because spending doesn't give you a return, because only investments do. You understand? We got to change our thinking. We got to go from the spending mindset and transition into the investment mindset. The investment mindset is there's a return on what I invest in, not spending what I invest in. Because whatever you spend whatever you spend on is expendable. It's expendable. An investment gives you a return. It multiplies. Spending don't multiply nothing. Investing is what multiplies. So why we perish is because of our thinking, the way we think as well. Okay, now this is the type of teaching that's going to help set us free. Not that other stuff. Not complaining all day long about, well, the European doing this, the European doing that. Well, I have a question. I do have a question. Wait a minute. Teacher, tell me. I got a question. What has that done for us? I just have a question. I want to know, what has putting our fist up in the air done for us as a people? Nothing. What did marching do for us as a people? Some people they could talk about, but it didn't do nothing because marching don't put money in your pocket. Marching and putting your fist in the air don't put food on the table. Marching and putting your fist in the air don't put clothes on your back and shoes on your feet. It's accurate financial strategies that's applied that position us to win. Not our fist in the air, not complaining, not marching up and down the road. What's going to help bring us out of the situation that we're in is gaining the right information, and the implementation of that information will bring about transformation in our life. And we will see our people then come from out of the disparity that we're in. Okay? Because what we'll start doing is we'll start spending our money with one another. We'll start having businesses to be able to spend our money to be able to invest in. Okay? So there will be some spending and investing as well. But we'll be able to see things transform once we start doing that. Once we come together as a collective, we'll start winning. But this is a message to wake you up, to help you to better understand it's time to transform our thinking. That's what this is time to do. It's time for us to return back to family values. And if you go to any village that has been uninterrupted by racism, by colonization, just look at the National Geographics. Look at it. Just YouTube African tribes. I promise you, if you see any African tribe that has been undisturbed, the Himba, the Jawas, the Zulus, okay, you can just start there. This is your homework. Please do this. Go look at an African civilization that has not been disturbed and see how they interact with one another. And I want you to think about this. That's the way we were before we were cut off from our culture. That's the way we were. Black Wall Street is the way that we were before our lives was interrupted. We have Madam C.J. Walker as an example of wealth. Booker T. Washington is another example of wealth. For those who don't know, Benjamin Banneker was a very prestigious person too. Okay? Queen Azinga was a queen. She had power and wealth, and she still was a warrior. So do your research and begin your searching. Start trying to find out some principles that can cause us to win financial strategy. Because listen, understand this. I want y'all to understand this too. You know, cooperative economics will not work if you don't have a strategic plan. You know, cooperative economics will not work if nobody knows how to grow the money. A lot of us don't know the reason why when we come together as a people, we don't get nowhere. You know why? Because we don't know what we're doing. What good is money and you don't know how to invest it? You don't know how to multiply it. And if you can't multiply it, then you can't divide it. If I only have $1, how can I give you $1? So we got to know how to multiply. We got to know how to grow the money when we come together. This is why we need financial advisors. We need financial planners sitting at the table with us when we come together as a people. And that's the problem too. We don't have the right key players sitting at the table. We just have a bunch of people who know our history and who's willing to fight. That's not enough. It's not enough either for people to give when you don't know what to do with it. Who knows how to invest in real estate? Who know how to invest in stocks? Okay, I got a question. The book is called Networking for Black Professionals. It's called Networking for Black Professionals. This is what this book is. It's called Networking for Black Professionals. And this is the reason why I'm talking the way I'm talking. Networking. That's the problem. We don't network. Where's the construction workers at? If we all came together, where's the engineers? Where's the architects? You see what I'm saying? So we need more than just African cultural information. We need more than just that. We need more than just our spirituality. We need more than just that. We must have financial literacy included in that. We have to. It is mandatory. A nation without any financial basis is not a nation. It's a failing nation. And that's what's happening in Africa. We're seeing it happen right before our eyes. You have a nation that has all the resources that the world uses, but they become a victim to their enemy because they don't know how to use their resources. This is the reason why our millionaires don't come back and pour into the community, because they don't know how to use their resources. So what good is it for us to have all this money and we don't know what to do with it? We go buy Lamborghinis and Porsches and all these other things. What good is it for us to have all this money and we don't know what to do with it? It takes more than one ingredient to be able to have a successful people. It takes more than one key. It takes more than one ingredient to be able to create a successful people. Peace, love, and power. Thank everybody so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate that. Again, I'm yours truly, Amar Amari. I'm the founder of El Kebalan Unity Alliance. My queen, Amani Amari, is a co-founder where we focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. For those of us who follow us on YouTube, thank you so much for that. Okay, for those who follow us on Instagram, we greatly appreciate that as well. Okay, again, it's not about the following ship. Okay, to me personally, it's not about the viewing ship. What really matters the most is the content. So I feel like the more of us know this type of information, the better off we will be as a people. The more of us live like, think like this, and live like this, the better off we'll be as a people. So, with that being said, share and invite. And it's only for that purpose, so that we can grow in our knowledge and wisdom and understanding, and we can start winning together. As the African proverb says in closing, if you want to go somewhere fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, you got to go together.